Listen, there are up to 76 skill points in Arc Raiders, but here's the problem. Buying the right skills in the wrong order can actually ruin your game. A lot of players, including myself when I first started, have no idea where to start when it comes to this great skill tree. In this video, I'm showing you the perfect path. We are going to spend your points from level 1 all the way to 76 in a specific order designed to maximize your speed, your survival, and every little detail in between to give you the best chance every time you go topside. If you want to stop guessing where to spend your precious skill points, you're in the right place. If you enjoy deep dive strategy guides like this, enlist in the Mantis Militia by hitting the subscribe button. Also, a like on this video goes a very long way to help the channel grow, and I appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's take a look at this skill tree to see how you're going to spend your first 16 points. Also, feel free to take any notes or save this for later so you can get the full value from this video. First, let's take a look at my skill tree. Now, I am only level 25, have currently 4 skill points available that I haven't spent yet, but mainly because I think I might reset it just based off the research I've done recently. But as I said, first 16 points. And these first 16 points are crucial, and no matter how you play, whether you're mainly focused on PvE or PvP, your first 16 points will be put into the same exact things. Now, to clearly showcase this first part, I'm actually going to reset my skill tree real quick, just because I have the money to do it, and to be honest, I made one little mistake that I just don't want to deal with. So now that I'm reset, I have 26 skill points to spend. I'm going to show you where to spend those first 16, and then I'll have 10 free after that. But after that, it's just kind of showing you. Now you might be asking, if I don't even have 76 skill points to spend myself, then why should I be telling you this information? And the main reason I would say is I have done research. I have done hours upon hours of research. I've taken inspiration from my friend who has way more hours in this game. I've taken inspiration from other big creators such as Tfue, and took all the knowledge that I've accumulated along with my own experience to give you what I believe is the best skill tree. So first things first, we're going to want to start right here on mobility. Nimble Climber. This should be first 5 skill points. And let's say you're not like me and have 26 skill points in the vault. All you want to do is just start with putting 1 in there at first. Then after that, I would move on to Marathon Runner, Youthful Lungs, and then you need 15 to get Carry the Momentum. But Carry the Momentum is our goal here. So all you're going to want to do, if you're slowly leveling up, getting your skill points one by one, is pretty much just go back and forth between all these 3 until they are maxed out. So there we go. Now that I have mine maxed out, and as soon as you get here, get Carry the Momentum. This is going to be a 1 skill point upgrade, but it's going to immensely help you. I've seen it most valuable in PvP or escaping a Rocketeer or a Bastion. Now, before we move on to where you're going to spend your next skill points, I just want to quickly explain why this should be your starting point. This is the foundation for any skill tree. Now, in this game, especially in the beginning, stamina is king. This is all you want to focus on. So, Nimble Climber, you can climb and vault more quickly. That's movement related. That's stamina related. Moving around costs less stamina. That's movement related. That's stamina related. Increase your max stamina. Again, stamina related, movement related. And then Carry the Momentum is just a dodge roll that you can do, specifically a sprinting dodge roll, that after you do it, you just don't lose stamina. For what I've calculated from doing this, I think it's about 3-second time where you can continue sprinting without losing stamina. This should be the foundation of where you're just going to want to start, and then you can branch off from there. There are other movement and stamina things in the skill tree, which is actually where we're heading next. So where you're going to want to head next, and I only have 10 available, so I'll try to showcase this as well as I can, is right here to Agile Croucher. Now, for now, given that I only have 10 skill points, I'm only going to put 1 in Agile Croucher just to get to Looter's Instinct. After that, put all 5 as fast as you can into Looter's Instinct. This is very important because what this does is allow you to search any container faster. And what I've experienced, and the main reason I reset my skill tree just now, is I have been in many situations where I'm looting a container or even a body from a fight I just had, and somebody else will run up on me and try to kill me while I'm mid-looting. So to try to negate this, I think get Looter's Instinct max. That way you'll be able to search anything as fast as you can to try to avoid those conflict situations while you're in the middle of looting. Next, what you're going to want to do is just put 1 point into revitalizing squat, and we are only going to put 1 point into this. And the reason for this is it just hasn't proven to be very game-changing, super beneficial while you're topside. And as this says, stamina regeneration while crouched is increased. Now, the increase seen in that is just not as much as you would probably hope. So just get 1 point, and the reason you need 1 point in this is so you can get to in-round crafting. Now, I have 3 points available. This in-round crafting is only a 1 point upgrade, so we do this. Now, we need 15 to get Suffer in Silence, and this, in the end, is where we're going to get to right now, which I will not be able to demonstrate this part because I'll run out of skill points. So I'll explain what you should do instead. I'm going to put 1 into Silent Scavenger just to get it, and 1 back in Agile Croucher. Now, I'm out of skill points, but next what you should do is get Agile Croucher to 5, and Silent Scavenger to 3. Your next 5 skill points will go into those. 3 more into Agile Croucher, 2 more into Silent Scavenger to make it 5 and 3. By that point, and you'll be able to get Suffer in Silence. Now, another thing I would do after this is go back and just put 2 into Revitalizing Squat, just to get you that 1 extra point that you're going to need later when we move up to Security Breach. Now, as I said, I can't show this properly because I don't have the skill points, but once you have 5 in Agile Croucher, 5 in Leader's Instinct, 3 in Silent Scavenger, 2 in Revitalizing Squat, your 1 point in in-round crafting, and your Suffer in Silence, and end off with Good as New, it'll bring you to 18 total points into Survival. Also, I'm going to put all the step-by-step directions down in the description to see exactly how I calculated and exactly the order of what to do. But as I said, after you have your 18 points into Survival, we're going to move over to Conditioning. Now, you'll end up with 17 points in Conditioning after this step, so bear with me. And I'm going to try to explain the best I can of what exact order to put these, even though, like I said, I can't fully demonstrate for you guys right now. But to get started, put all 5 into Use to the Weight. Max this out right away. Then, after that, you're going to want to put 1 into Gentle Pressure and 1 into Blastborn. You're not going to want to put more than 1 into these just because, once again, these haven't proven to be super beneficial in-game. After that, try to put 3 into Fight or Flight, and go ahead and max out Proficient Pryer. That is hard to say. Now, before we move back into Survival, I just want to real quick reference why you wouldn't want to go Slip and Slide and Sturdy Ankles into Calming Stroll. So basically, Slip and Slide, which as you can see is slide further and faster, there is a noticeable and visual difference into how far you can slide. But realistically, it's more of just a convenience to move around the map. When you're actually in a fight, whether it's with an arc or a real enemy, you're not going to really see this skill be a great benefit to you too often, if ever. As well as with Sturdy Ankles, there's just not many cases where you're going to see it be too beneficial. Because no matter what, you really should just be avoiding any fall damage, because it could cost you your raid. But from that point, you should have 16 in mobility, 18 in survival, and 17 in conditioning, but we're about to put 10 more into survival, and that is just to get to Looter's Luck. So what I would do here, you already have Suffer in Silence at this point, just get Broad Shoulders and Looter's Luck, and go back and forth every skill point you get until both of these are maxed out. At the end of this, you'll end up with 28 survival points. It's really simple why you should get these. Maximum weight you can carry, that is very beneficial. The amount of times I've over encumbered myself just by simply grabbing 1 more gun or too much ammo, this could avoid all that. And then Looter's Luck is really the big gold star winner here because as it says, there's a chance to reveal twice as many items. And this kind of goes back down here to Looter's Instinct. We just want to be able to loot as fast as possible all the time. So this is pretty simple here. You'll end up with 28 points in survival, but as you can see, we need 36 to get to Security Breach, but we'll get back to that in a second because what you're going to want to do next is once again move back over to Conditioning. Now, at this point, you should have this whole first up to Unburdened Roll and Survivor Stamina, and to recap, it should be 5 in Use to the Weight, 1 in Gentle Pressure and Blastborn, 3 into Fight or Flight, and all 5 into Proficient Pryer, then your Unburdened Roll and Survivor Stamina, which will give you 17 points in Conditioning so far. But now we're going to be putting 6 more points in Conditioning into Conditioning to end up with a grand total of 23 points. And where you're going to want to spend those 6 points is to get over here to Loaded Arms. Now, both a little extra and Loaded Arms are 1 point skills. A little extra is good to have because when you breach, it generates resources, which this is going to go into over here with in-round crafting, because if you're breaching, you're going to get the resources you need to craft whatever you want. And then loaded arms is super good. This is one of the best non-mobility skills in the game, I believe. Because if your equipped weapons just weight a little bit less, you can grab so much more. And this is what this does. Whenever you have an equipped weapon, there's less impact on your weight. Now, the amount of times that I've avoided bringing in 2 guns or grabbing guns just because I was scared of having too much weight on me is almost all the time. So if I had this, I'm not being afraid to bring 2 guns. I'm gonna bring my kettle and my anvil. But instead, I normally just bring my kettle, to be honest. But anyway, let's get into the last 4 points of conditioning, and that is gonna be really simple. You're gonna just want 1 into downed but determined. This is good, but it's just not worth putting all 5 points, to be honest, because if you're downed, it's most likely game over for you anyway. There are some moments where maybe somebody will try to help you so you can get to exfil and you won't lose all your stuff, but most of the time, if you're dying, it's most likely a shoot on sight scenario and they're just gonna full kill you anyway. But the important thing here is 3 into turtle crawl, because this makes it harder for said person to just shoot you to get you downed. The enemy that shot you can't just instantly shoot you 3 times and you're full dead. This gives you a little bit chance for if there's another raider, they can come up and save you. Now that's kind of a niche scenario. There are other scenarios. That's just more of an example that I've seen. At this point, you'll have all your 23 points in conditioning into conditioning, and you're not going to want to touch conditioning now because we have 28 points in survival, but we need to get to 36 and eventually 37, which will be your last point. Now to do this, first thing I would do is put 1 into traveling tinkerer, which is just a 1-point skill anyway. And it just is a tag along to in-round crafting. It just gives you more options to craft, which is another reason to get a little extra over in conditioning. Now after that, 1 raider's scraps, you can put all 5 into this. This is also good because who doesn't want more items? As you can see, you have a small chance of finding additional field crafted items. More items is always good. The fact that they're there gives you the option to, and that's just what we want. We want all the options. And after you've done that, you'll have 6 points more spent in survival, making you at 34 out of the 36 you need. So what I would do here, and this is more just because stubborn mule is kind of not needed in most scenarios, and 3 deep breaths is also just, I get it's about stamina, and you know, I did say stamina is the name of the game, but by the time you'd be level 75, you're gonna know how to avoid a situation that makes this valuable. So what I would do here is actually go back all the way down and put your other 2 into silent scavenger, because we always want to be more quiet. Realistically, you could put these 2 more points into silent scavenger earlier, but I think there's more important things to spend your points on in the early game than silent scavenger. So go back, put the 2 more in silent scavenger. You'll then have the 36 points needed to get security breach, and then your last final point to get security breach. The reason that I believe security breach is probably one of the best ways to spend your skill points in the game is, yes, they're hard to find, the security breach lockers. I don't know if I've only seen a few, and clearly I haven't been able to unlock them, but my duo does have security breach. And while sometimes you don't get the best of loot from them, as I said before, with 1 raider's scraps, you want as many options as possible. So even if you don't get the best loot, you will get good loot eventually from them, as you will whenever you're playing this game. You don't always get the best loot, but sometimes you get great loot, and these things do have a chance to give great loot. But like I said, it's more about the option that you have. The option that when you see a security locker, you can look at it and be like, yes, I can have whatever's in there, while other people can't. Because if they don't get security breach, or they just are not that level yet, such as me, they're just not going to be able to open it. That is one more option that sets you apart from the other raiders. Now that is all 76 points spent. By this time, you'll be level 75, you'll have 16 points mobility, 27 points in conditioning, and 37 in survival. And that is what I believe will build the best possible Arc Raider skill tree. Now there is a possibility that you could get up to 81 points in this skill tree, but it does require you to follow this right here, the expedition. Now every, I think, few months, this is the expedition. This is how you put in a certain amount of resources for 6 page, and if you can do that within whenever the window is, you can basically reset your account. Now you keep what you bought, but basically your entire stash is reset and you pretty much start from 0. And if you do this, this will give you an additional 5 points to spend. And if you're already at that point, I'm just gonna give you a real quick brush over of where I would spend them. So what I would do if I had 5 extra skill points is I'm gonna finish off Turtle Crawl to get that to all the 5, and that'll leave me with 3 more, which I would probably just put into Slip and Slide. You'll have 3 in Slip and Slide, and like I said earlier, it's more of just a convenience thing. But if you want that convenience and you have the extra points to spend, why not? So anyway, that is my in-depth skill tree guide, step by step from level 1 to 75, all 76 skill points. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you think that I presented anything falsely or what you would do differently with your skill tree. And if you're excited to see what Arc Raiders hits us with next, I will be making a video about all the updates that come, along with other Arc Raiders guides, tips, and tricks. Also, if you want to check out some of my just normal Arc Raiders gameplay, that should be on your screen now. I hope you guys did enjoy. Join the Mantis Militia. That'd be cool. And I'll see you next time. Peace.